Um, okay, hi. Hi, everyone. I want to open with some thank yous. I want to start with Hector. Thank you for being our leader and for sharing all of your wisdom with us. I want to thank Santi. You have been such a quiet inspiration to me this entire journey. So thank you. I want to thank all the TAs. Thank you guys for all your hard work. I want to thank all of you guys for being role models to me during this journey and just for witnessing the start of my meditation journey. I want to thank my brother and sister for showing up today. And I want to thank my amazing, beautiful girlfriend, Lauren. Without her, I wouldn't be here. So thank you, Lo. Okay, anyway, about me. About me, I'm Jack. I grew up in a well-to-do town in Massachusetts in a family of 5 with my brother Charlie and my sister Emma. From the outside, life in our home looked stable and secure. On the inside, it was a little less so. I was about 12. My mom worked a job in finance, and my dad always seemed to be in between jobs. It was during one of these in-between periods that my mom lost her job, and things in our house started to fall apart a little bit. I remember the tension in the hallways, the occasional declined credit card in the grocery store. But more than anything, I remember the arguments between my parents. There was this one time where my mom was aggressively asking my dad to do something. And it must have been something that cost money because my dad threw up his hands in reaction and he said, "I can't do that right now. I literally have less than $50 in my bank account." My parents sacrificed a lot to shield us from reality during this time. We didn't sell our home until years later, and we never missed a Christmas. But as a kid, I didn't understand the complexity of our situation. It felt like we were living a lie. A struggling household in a neighborhood surrounded by families who lived in mansions and who took trips to Aruba every time a school break came around. Looking back, I really internalized one thing during this time, which is that money is safety, or at least the lack of it is danger. So life went on. I went to high school, and in high school, I got critically addicted to video games. You can ask Charlie. And this was the first sign that I had a propensity for addiction and that my mind could get easily hijacked. Then I went to college in Colorado, and life opened up for me there. I was studying what I loved, which was psychology and the human brain. I made a lot of friends, and I even learned how to code. Importantly, I was following my curiosity wherever it wanted to go, and for a while, that felt like meaning. And then I graduated, and I decided to try and get a job in New York. And when I got here, money wasn't subtle like it was in Colorado. It seemed to be the air that everyone breathed. Moving here amplified those things I internalized as a kid. The message that money equals safety became louder, more complex, and honestly more seductive. The city yanked my attention into this nonstop identity comparison loop. Suddenly, the things I used to care about, psychology and the human mind, got replaced by this constant mental math of salary bands, job titles, who's doing better than who, and how can I, as a young person, be successful? In tech culture, this craving for success sometimes gets repackaged as financial freedom. Like if you hit some magic number, you'll finally get to rest, you'll get to chill. But that number keeps shifting, the goalpost keeps moving. The freedom, financial freedom, is usually out in front of you. It's not here. So like a lot of people around me, this is the personal antidote here. Just prefacing that. I started investing. A few small bets turned into full-blown retail swing trading. I got into crypto, prediction markets, and options. And when a few trades went my way, I felt sharp and validated. Money markets soon became this invisible undercurrent, pulling at my attention constantly. It wasn't just a hobby, it was literally where my mind was living all the time. Although I convinced myself that what I was doing was informed and intelligent, it was really no better than glorified gambling. For the psychology nuts in the room, this is a psychological trap that was rooted in dopamine loops and variable reward. Exactly like the video game addiction I had in high school. Anyway, I brought this addiction everywhere. I brought it to family dinners, to my girlfriend's house. I would wake up at 3 a.m. to check Twitter. I would spend entire mornings just glued to a chart screen. I justified it because on paper it was working. I told myself that I was building the safety net I craved as a kid. It kind of culminated in this 3-day stretch where I woke up at 4 a.m., I blew off work to trade. I would stop mid-conversation with Lauren to check my phone. And when it was over, even though I had made a little bit of money, instead of feeling relief, my mind felt scrambled and I felt like physically sick. It happened to be around this time that I was cultivating a daily meditation practice. And it was through meditation that I realized I was pouring my energy into something that was a void, something that was sapping my life force without giving me a shred of meaning. I felt sick because my body knew that my attention and energy were being pulled down a path that my being didn't actually approve of. And so I quit. I wrote a letter to myself as a reminder to return my focus to the things that mattered to me. I vowed to stop swing trading and to give more attention to other aspirations of mine. So why am I telling you this story? The story is an extreme example of how I found my mind living somewhere I never intended to stay. How meditation gave me the space to kind of like come up for air and look around and say like, where am I and how did I get here in my day-to-day? Money is taboo. It's weird. I've had a complicated relationship with it since I was a kid. In New York, we'll obsess over it, we'll grind for it, we'll flex it, but we'll almost never talk honestly about the fear or the other complicated feelings that come underneath it. If the Buddha were alive today, I don't think he would say that money is the problem. I think he'd say the problem is when our sense of security and identity braids itself into something like money without us noticing. That's what happened to me. But I'm still ambitious. I still care about success. I'm still the same kid who grew up in that house. But meditation has made me honest about the intentional pursuit of that. I want to find meaning by providing real value to the world, not by chasing dopamine spikes on my phone. Of course, money isn't the only undercurrent dragging our attention. For you, maybe it's body image or status or the fantasy of romance. Things you might have valid reasons to be attached to, but that are holding too much of your mind hostage and pulling you out of the present moment. Meditation gave me the ability to see when I'm being pulled, what I'm being pulled by, and whether I want to follow it. For me, this is the start of freedom of the mind. Unlike financial freedom, this freedom lives with me right here, right now. So if there's one thing you take away from my talk, it's this. Your attention and where you put your mind is the most valuable thing you have. Guard it. Notice what captures it. Notice what might be hijacking it. And ask yourself, is this where I want my mind to live?